Listeners, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode 946. Happy hump day, happy Wednesday, trash and recycling day here. Enjoy it. I had a break from baseball cards, much needed, and I'm back. I'm wearing sweatpants. 946 episodes. This is the very first that I've wore sweatpants. I don't wear sweatpants to work. And what I mean by that is like, well, you work in your basement. What's that mean? I don't feel as productive if I'm wearing sweatpants and a hoodie. I'll wear shorts and a hoodie. I'll wear blue jeans and a hoodie. But sweatpants just makes me feel like it's a lazy Sunday. So I wear jeans or shorts. Today I'm like, yeah, F it. I'm wearing sweatpants. I mean, you can't tell, but I am. First time, I believe. Might in those early days. Speaking of early days of Hobby Evolution, all of the episodes are on my YouTube channel. I think somebody might have been Uncle Rich. One of my early episodes, and I'm thinking it was like episode 8, showed up in their YouTube algorithm thing. And so I clicked on it and watched it. It only had, I liked my own video. You can do that. At the time, there was only 16 likes and like 330 some views. I'm like, whoa, that's a really bad percentage. So that's a reminder. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. But I started watching this is episode 8 of Hobby Evolution, which was way back in the summer of 2020, really? Well, 946 episodes. That's 2.5 years, right? Because there was a lot when I went back to work at the office, because I started Hobby Evolution when I was working from home. And I think it was on the second iteration of work from home for me. The first only lasted, a month? I think we started work from home like early April, maybe mid-April. And then we went back to the office the Tuesday after Memorial Day of 2020. And then one of our coworkers, his wife got COVID, and this is like pre-shot, pre-anything. Like, it's like, oh my God, we don't want the COVID. So probably 60% of the office, myself included, went back to work from home. And we did so for, almost a year at that point, because it was around 4th of July of 2020. And then I think it might have been around Memorial Day again when we went back to the office. It might have been actually before. It might have been like mid-May, early to mid-May of 2021. So I think that's when I started Hobby Evolution, was July or August of 2020. And then when I went back to the office in May of 2021, it was just kind of like hit or miss. I do it a couple days a week. So yeah, I guess we started this thing in the summer of 2020. The COVID summer. So here we are. But I was watching episode 8, and the first thing I noticed was I looked so uncomfortable, it's weird and it's not weird at the same time, because I have a broadcasting background. I worked in radio. I worked in a little bit of TV. So I'm not unfamiliar with a microphone and a camera. But even so, even if you're used to that, but if you're in like an uncomfortable to you position, it's still uncomfortable, right? as many radio broadcasts as I did, sometimes there was something that I'd never done before, and it's a little like, you're just kind of tiptoeing around. And I felt like when watching myself back, episode 8, I'm like, I look very uncomfortable. It's almost like I was trying to be. And the thing that I started Hobby Evolution was, this is not a podcast. At that time, I think there were just podcasts popping up left and right. And I didn't want to be in that because it wasn't. And it isn't. This isn't a podcast. This isn't. I think I initially phrased it as like a video diary because we were going through some weird times. And this is, for me, an evolution. And we're always evolving, especially within our hobbies. And my hobby has evolved so much. I mean, just since this program began 3 years ago, my hobby evolved into a business in 3 years. So sometimes it's like we're comfortable with the microphone and with talking, but if it's something all new to us, it's a little uncomfortable. And I noticed that in my episode 8 video, it was almost like I was trying to be Mr. Podcast Radio Guy. It was like, today we're going to talk about, but it was similar to that. It was like, oh man, Bo, what are you doing? You sound so shitty. You're trying too hard. Mr. Radio Voice, I'm going to announce like a radio announcer. I hate just be yourself. Just be yourself. I'm a nerd. I'm just going to be a nerd. That's all we can do. So that was fun to look back on. It's like, oh wow, that was the first takeaway. I look so uncomfortable. And that lighting in that room, all those cards blocking out all the light. I had a single light bulb in that old card room, just a single light bulb. There was a window. There was natural light coming in. You couldn't see it because there were boxes of baseball cards blocking all of the light. But really, natural light's good and bad. Like, you don't want natural light on your cards. I had some just 9 pocket pages on top of a box that was near the window, and they're just sun faded. Now they were 1990 tops, so it's I've got 3,000 1990 tops Scott Sandersons. Now I've got a sun faded one. Now I've got 299 or 2,999 and a sun faded Scott Sanderson. So I did take a break yesterday. It was nice. I needed a little break from not just just the house. I've been a recluse for 9 days. I got and that's the thing. That's humans. The human behavior is so we're so needy. People, we're so needy. I go to the National and I spend 5 days around thousands and thousands of fellow baseball card collecting nerds. I'm on stimulus overload. There's people everywhere. I just want to go home. I can't. It's Sunday. It's I can't wait to get home and go through my cards in my basement, be around all of my cards. And here I am bitching about being around all these cards for the last 9 days. What is wrong with us humans? We're such a bizarre species. So yeah, here I am after 5 days of just being around people, talking cards, and having all of that, human interaction. Now I go 9 days without any. And it's I can't wait to get out of the house again. And then I went out to a dive bar with a friend of mine. And it's actually, this is kind of nice. It's a place called Riley Tavern. in Riley, Wisconsin. Now, Riley, Wisconsin is like, I'm probably exaggerating when I say there's 12 houses. There might only be 6, but it's there's a bike path that goes along, and it's when I rode my bike, I would stop at the Riley Tavern because it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's miles and miles and miles away from any town or city. Riley, it's in the middle of the country. In fact, when I was walking back to my car, and there's not a parking lot. You just park. There's a few spots like out front, and then there's like this country road. They're all country roads out there, but there's this road that goes straight out, and that's like where you park. And you're parking like literally in the middle of the country, and it's dark as hell because it's the middle of nowhere, middle of the country, so there's no street lights. So it's dark as hell. So I'm at Riley Tavern. And I can't remember where I was going with this, but that was my break last night. Oh, I know where I wanted to go with this. So it's in the middle of nowhere. I have US Cellular, which is normally pretty good. It's actually improved in Chicago, which ironically, the stadium and US Cellular headquarters in Chicago White Sox used to play, formerly named US Cellular Stadium, Coliseum, whatever the hell they call it, US Cellular Field. I had shitty reception in Chicago for US Cellular. Now it's much better. But in Riley, Wisconsin, it's not very good. In fact, I couldn't even we're watching, and I got to thinking, because this is like it's basically a house, like a big house out in the country. And like the bar is like old. It's like a very old, like the actual bar behind the bar. And I'm like, when did this start becoming a bar? Because I mean, I know it was probably just a house back in the day. And so there was like, I think a sign, the bar began in 1948. And I'm like, wow, I wonder what it was like in 1948 when this was all new. We didn't have phones. Hell, there wouldn't have been TVs in the bar. We're watching, because we're in Wisconsin, the Brewers game. They lost. And they weren't scrolling the scores. And I knew the Cubs were playing. Like, and I don't have internet. It felt like I was in 1948. I just want to know if the Cubs are winning. But back in 1948, you go to the bar. Like, and I lived in the 80s as a kid, into the 90s, pre-internet. I know what it was like, but it's like we forget. What was the internet like? What was life without the internet like? And it's like, what were in 1948? Oh my God, they had to actually talk to each other. Oh, the humanity. Like, if I wanted to know the score of the Cubs game, I had to wait until the next morning, and go pick up my newspaper out of the driveway and go to the box score and see, oh, the Cubs won last night. Oh, the humanity. I couldn't get, and it was actually, I'm kind of glad. Maybe I'll go to the Riley Tavern more, because I guess I could leave. I could just shut my phone off. I could, but I choose not to. Maybe I should just take a break, because what I will tell you, what I really love about taking a break from my phone, or if I'm out of the internet, is when I regain power or regain internet or get my phone back, I go to my eBay app. And when I got home last night, like, just since this morning, I got 4 notifications on eBay, 3 sales. Woohoo! I had 43 eBay sales notifications when I regained internet, when I got home last night. I'm like, oh, I love this. Because otherwise, it's like the phone's right next to me. It's like, oh, it's been 7 minutes. I haven't got a sale. And then you start thinking, like, oh my God. That's why I always have to look at my numbers. It's like, man, I had such a shitty day. But I was looking at my phone all day. And I got, another sale. So actually I have to look at my my eBay sales. And I don't think how did again, I didn't list as much. I think I listed one stack of cards yesterday, so about 100 cards yesterday. Still, I surpassed my goal for the day, which has now been, let's see. Oh, did that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've gone 7 straight days surpassing my sales goal on a daily basis. But man, I look at this graph and I see where my daily sales goal is, and then I look at July. Now I went into July and I'm like, I just want to make X amount for the month of July because I have so much stuff going on. And I did, like barely. I just barely got over that number. Ideally, I would have made more than that. But it was nice not to have had to ship 300 items a day during the month of July because I just didn't have the time with the National, my card show, wedding, and this whole move all happened all at one time. So eBay's algorithm mess up in mid-July actually was kind of a saving grace for me. I didn't have to switch anything off in my eBay store to suppress the sales. But now it's like, come on, keep them coming. Let's go to the chat. We got Matty Ice in the house. What's up? Good morning. We got David with us. What's up, David? Good morning to you. Paul Carl in the house. Matty Ice says, go Cubs, go. So the Cubs won last night, beat the Mets. They are now just a game and a half behind the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Central. I think they lost to the Rockies last night and hold a wild card spot. So with, I think, 48 or 49 games remaining in this season. So looking good. Got to keep it going. My buddy Ethan Roberts did a live BP yesterday through 15 pitches. So Ethan Roberts on his way. Hopefully by the end of the month, he'll be rehabbing in Iowa. Victor's with us. What's up, Victor? Good morning to you. Tony's in the house. Kids in Louisville go back to school today. Wow, that's early, which means I get to dodge school buses and kids on my way to work. August 9th. See, I thought when, like, in Illinois, where I'm from, we always went back, like, so today's Wednesday. So we would go back, like, it was usually, like, the second or third Wednesday of the month of August. So, where's my calendar view? So, like, August 16th would be when we went back to school. But I think they've changed that, and it seems like they're going back earlier, at least in my judging by the back to school pictures that I'll start seeing. They may start school back on like Mondays now, which wouldn't that's like for us when I was going to school, it's like August 16th, Wednesday. It was always a half a day. You got out at like 11. And then you had Thursday, Friday, and it's like, you don't like really, unless you had a teacher that was like, we're going to learn every day. You like the teachers that rolled in the VCRs. We're just going to watch a movie. We'll get started on Monday. That was my kind of teacher. Like, I'm going to like this semester. Kyle's in the house. What's up? Good morning. We've got John here. I should say good afternoon to John. We've got Paul Heath in the house. George is here. What's happening, George? Redbridge Sports Cards, good morning to you. JW says the Cubs are on fire. They are. They're looking good. They made an interesting move. Non-Cubs fans are going to get bored to tears with me talking about this. But Ryan Jensen was a first-round pick in 2019 for the Cubs. And the Cubs placed him on waivers. Now, I don't know if he has I don't know if he hit his big league debut, but he was really struggling in AAA Iowa. Now, the Cubs, the bullpen has had a lot of woes this year. That's still, even after the trade deadline, they didn't really pick up. They picked up Jose Cuas, and that was, yawn. That was it. So they need some bullpen help. They didn't get any at the trade deadline, much at the trade deadline, I should say. There's not much in the minor leagues because the guys that they've had have really struggled. So Ryan Jensen was put on waivers, which I wasn't surprised because he was on the Cubs 40-man roster. And I don't think he was going to survive the offseason staying on the 40-man. So Seattle picked him up, claimed him off waivers. And so now Jensen is with the Mariners, which opens up a slot in the 40-man roster for the Cubs. So they actually have 2 spots open. They have right now 38 players on the 40-man. So if they were to call up, like a prospect or somebody, maybe Pete Crow Armstrong, or is Pacey? I don't think he's on the 40-man. What I was thinking was Luke Little, who has he dominated single A, got called up to double A, dominated double A, and then he recently was called up to triple A Iowa. And he did have an outing with Iowa, kind of struggled, but it's just one outing. So, I wonder if they do that. Who knows? James in the house. Any card shows this week? Can't find any on the map. This week, Stevens Point, which is a big hike for you. So I think there's not too many going on this week, is there? The old card show map. Let's see. When's the Peru Mall show? Well, that was last weekend. Yeah, I don't think there are any this weekend. How come Woodstock hasn't had any shows recently? Doesn't look like there are any, at least in our little triangle. But we've got Janesville coming up on Sunday, August 20th. I'll be set up in Janesville Sunday, August 20th, Holiday Inn. New bargain boxes. I'll have at least 1 new football box, probably 2. I'll have 2 new baseball boxes. I'll have 1 new basketball box. I'll have a new non-sport box. So good stuff. Sunday, August 20th, Janesville, Wisconsin. And then the Madison Card Show, you see it on the ticker, is coming up on Saturday, August 26th at the Sheraton Hotel on John Nolan Drive. I'll be set up for that as well. Dealer spots are selling fast for August, which I'm surprised. Usually I don't see this until October, November for the really fast table. A lot of returning vendors and a lot of first time. I think I'm up to 10 first time dealers for the August show already, and I haven't even run the ad yet. So I have a feeling that it's going to be a sellout, which is no surprise, on Saturday, August 26th. Donald is here. What's up? Good morning to you. Herman in the house. What's happening? Good morning, Royals 417. I don't have anything to talk about today. I just kind of good because I needed a break. So that's why I talked about the Riley Tavern. So if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, moans, drop them in the chat. Herman says, you don't want natural light in your beer mug either. Natty Light. I don't want Natty Light in my beer mug. Rich says, hey there, we're batting 222 on the like percent, above the Mendoza line, but nearly high enough. You know the next thing to do. Hit the like button. Subscribe so you can hear these wonderful stories which touch on baseball cards some of the time. Yeah, every once in a while we talk about baseball cards. Let's look at some cards. Let's take a break and look at some cards. See, this is when I need another camera so you can see everything I'm looking at. I bought a lot of Derek Jeter cards. These are all Derek Jeter cards. These were out of 50-cent boxes that I probably got for 40 cents. I was pulling some Aaron Judge, Dalton Varsho. He's actually a pretty good player. He plays for the Diamondbacks, so he's not hobby good, but he's a good fantasy baseball player. There's another Jeter. Picked up this Blaze Jordan, first Chrome Mega Box. That was 40 cents. Yaswar Garcia, another 40 center. What else? Another Jeter, one of those platinum cards. When are some new products? Our plumber was here the other day hooking up the irrigation line and was asking me, he's like, hey, I got a buddy that he's been buying cards at Target and he wants to know like good stuff. And I'm like, well, it's not really like if you want to just have fun and rip, basically anything at Target or Walmart. But if he's looking for like good return on his investment, you're gonna have to buy Hobby Box at like a card shop. And but I'm like, if he's just going to Target and Walmart, like Bowman is a good buy, but you're probably not gonna find it because it's a good buy. Allen and Ginter's coming out. I think they actually delayed it into September. Topps Update is a good one to buy, but it's like it's kind of hit or miss. That's always like tough. That's a tough. What's the best product to buy? That's a loaded question. I don't like that question because it's like, what are your intentions? Say you're only buying retail. Are your intentions you want to potentially make some money on your blaster box that's $25? You're probably just accept reality. You're probably not going to. But sometimes there are. And it's actually pretty simple. If you can get it like the first couple days of release and list it immediately, you can recoup your money. But a lot of people just poo-poo on the base. That's where you make your money. Like if you want to make money on boxes, that's where it typically comes from 90% of the time. And that's why when I do buy wax, I'm very careful with what I buy. That's why I like Topps Heritage Minors and Topps Pro Debut. It's such a low buy-in, but I'm making the money on the commons, on the base. And the autographs and the colored parallels, the serial numbers are gravy, essentially. So that's a tough question. So, and it's hard to explain that to somebody that doesn't know cards, right? Especially in like today's or the recent hobby world, people see a $12 million card. If you don't know anything about cards and you see a $12 million, like my mother-in-law says, well, you might have $1 million card in this basement. No, I don't. I can guarantee you there is not a single $1 million card in this basement. If there was, it wouldn't be in here anymore. I would be shipping it off to some auction house. No, there's not. There's not. Well, how do you know? Well, because I know the market. I know what $1 million card is, and I know that I don't have them. I know that I don't have them. Well, how do you know? Well, because I know what I have, and I don't have that. That's how I know. Uncle Rich says, have a great day, everyone. Bo, now that the school year has begun, I can go back to being an overachiever on putting out the trash and recyclables. Mine are on the curb. Took them out there last night. Actually took them out before I even went to the Riley Tavern last night. So both full, couldn't even close the lid on either trash or recyclables. So it'll be nice to have. That's the things if you're young, if you're a kid, probably none watching. But if you're like in your 20s, there's probably some 20-somethings watching. Some of the biggest excitement I get today is an empty recycle bin because I can fill it back up. That's how sad my life has become. I get excited. Ooh, it's trash and recycle day. I get empty bins to fill back up. What a sad existence I live. Uncle Rich says, did your day for that change with the move, or will we have the excitement of the last minute? Oops, I have to put out those bids. Well, they are out, so there's no oopsies today. No oopsies today. It also helps that my trash day is the same day that it used to. It's Wednesday. It's over here as well. So I don't have like a new day. If it was a new day, there'd probably be an oopsie. Like, oops, forgot to take the trash out. Grinding for good. What's up? Good morning to you. Herman says, when go camping every year, we purposely pick a spot with 0 cell service. That's smart. That's smart. Because even if you can say, I'm going to turn my phone off, but like for me, and everybody's different. So everybody's some people can just put their phone in another room and not look at it. I can't do that. I have a problem. I'll admit it. I'm going to go put this phone on the charger and just ignore it. And guess what? 30 minutes later, I'm checking my phone. Oh, I had to get a glass of water. I'm just looking at the phone. So without cell service, yeah, you may pick it up, but it's like, I still can't get cell service. Royals 417 says 20 plus of them were mine. Yes, thank you, Matt. Check out my eBay store link in the description, and you can also access it by hitting 99centcards.com. Where we at? Flipping Sports Guy in the house. I love looking at my phone after football practice. It's like, ooh, look at all these notifications. It is. I remember there was, I don't know if I read this in like Psychology Today or if it was in like a lecture, but back in the day, like early 2000s, early cell phones, remember it had, like our notifications weren't like, we didn't just open. Most of us are familiar with this, but again, there might be some 20-somethings that weren't around in early 2000s. There was on like the early cell phones, like not the early, but when text messaging started in the early 2000s, at least that's when I started the text messaging. And it had like, you had your phone, and like in the top right corner, there was like a light, and it was red or green, and red meant no new messages. Green meant messages, and it was like a trigger. What's the Pavlov, or what was the there was some study, I can't remember which one, but it's similar to that. Like we got excited when we saw the green light. Ooh. It was like a treat for dogs. Ooh, green light. I have a new message. Now can go on my phone. You scroll it up depending on how many apps you have on your phone. It's like, and some I don't have push notifications, but I hit like Facebook is notorious for this. Like, ooh, I've got a Facebook notification, and I know why they do it. They do it so they can keep you on their platform. So what's my Facebook notification? Oh, it's actually one that I want. It's Sean Dunston thing. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's just a post of Sean Dunston, Mark Grace, Hall of Fame weekend, September 8th through the 10th. So, but sometimes I'll like close out of Facebook, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you've got another notification, and it's like something that doesn't even, but Facebook does that to keep you on their app, to keep those seconds, minutes, hours of their app time. So yeah, those notifications, it's like, ooh, look at all the notifications I have. Like I'll go to eBay. When I opened it up 15 minutes ago, I had 4, and I have 2 more now. 2 more sales coming through. My recent sales, a Bowman Chrome Sapphire Auto, Stephen Paolini of the Atlanta Braves, and Jet Williams, 2022 first Bowman. Oh, just sold one of those. I still have like 100 and some of those left. Hit the eBay store. 99centcards.com. Make me excited with more eBay sales notifications. TTM Bob in the house. What's happening? Good morning to you. We've got the Flawed Thinker here. Card Hobbyist says a county close to me started on July 25th. Holy shit. So they're getting out of school unless they're like, do they do like trimesters or year round? If they do trimesters or year round, I can understand. But if they do like a standard school year, they're getting out in like April. That's crazy talk. Oh, Card Hobby says, but they get 2 weeks off at the beginning of October. Okay. So that's kind of trimester. I don't know if they actually do the trimester, but kind of similar to where they probably get 2 weeks off at Easter, or well, I don't think you could say Easter, spring break. So all of that. John says, amazing that the Rockies helped you out. We best not be messing up the tankathon. James says next Saturday is Woodstock. So it's on the 19th, August 19th. Dan's in the house scanning some Burley. What's up, Dan? Robert is here. Card show in Paragould, Arkansas. Nice. I've heard a lot of talk about this show in Bentonville, Arkansas. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talking about Bentonville, Arkansas, home of Walmart. Ziggy Noah is here. What's happening? Oh, something in my throat. James, good morning. Your buddy Pete Crow hitting bombs. PCA. Love it. Ziggy Noah says, cards are the excuses we use to hang out and enjoy your company. Right. Yes. Varsho has been shit for my fantasy team this year. Has he? So I like Varsho because he has catcher eligibility, but I drafted Adley Rutschman basically in the 6th round because we have 5 keepers. What's Varsho's numbers? So he hasn't been shit, but he's got a .218 batting average. That hurts. But he's got 45 runs, 13 home runs, more importantly, 13 stolen bases. So he's getting those home runs and stolen bases. What's Rush? My other catcher, Adley. He's doing pretty well. 273, 57 runs scored, 15 home runs, 0 stolen bases. So that's why I like Varsho. You can put him in the catcher position and get steals because most catchers don't steal bases. And Varsho's not really a catcher. He just has catcher eligibility, which that'll probably run out. I don't know if he's caught any games this year, so I don't know if he'll have that eligibility next year. He was my 5th keeper because of that. He probably won't be a keeper for next year, especially now. I have Adley Rutschman. So Adley Rutschman will be my keeper. So that handles a catcher position. So there we go. Endicott Angler cards. What's up? What are your thoughts on 2022 Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary baseball cards? I'm not a big fan. I think they're cool cards. Don't get me wrong. I think they're cool cards. I think they do have retail formats too. So if I like needed a fun rip and I don't care about resale, I'd pick a blaster up. But I saw I think this was going around Twitter yesterday. Topps Chrome Platinum. And do you mean 2022 or 20? Oh, it must be 2022. Is it just? Yeah, 2022 Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary releases August of 2023. So today is their release day. So here's the thing. So we're on Cardboard Connection. Let's just share the screen here. Where are we at? Share screen. We want a tab. There we go. Boom. And let's just do it full screen. Where's my full screen? There we go. Okay. So there's 500 cards in the set. They're really cool cards. So this Bobby Witt that you see, that's the Speckle Refractor, numbered out of 150. There are new parallels. Platinum Toil White Blue Refractor, Platinum Toil Cream Fuchsia Atomic Refractor, the White Green Refractor, the Cream Rose Gold Refractor, the Cream and Gold Refractor, the White Orange Refractor, the Cream and Black Refractor, the Cream and Red Refractor, In addition, in hobby light boxes, you get the black and white mini diamond refractors, along with your speckle refractors, and along with your prism refractors, as you see that Fernando Tatis Jr. So look at all of these. Can you see all these? Yes. Look at all of those parallels. Refractors, prism refractors, which are hobby only. Black and white mini diamond, which are in the hobby light boxes. You've got X-fractors. You've got aqua lava, yellow ray wave, blue mini diamond, and then all of those platinum toil refractors we talked about, along with the speckle and the atomic and the fuchsia atomic. Jesus, the green wave, the gold, the orange, the black, the red, the super, red lava. You've got all the, Jesus. So if you buy a box of the, like, look at that. And there's a 500 card checklist. Like, is this like the biggest modern set ever made with all of these refractors? So this is a solid, I'm out. You know, because if you go to the blaster level, what are you going to pull? Nothing. I mean, you're going to pull something. So maybe, hey, maybe if it's just a fun rip, you'll feel like you got something because you'll get one of these 75 parallels. It's turning into Panini. Topps is turned in with Panini with this release. Look at that. So I'm out. I would say on Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary with that big of a checklist, 500 cards, and all of those parallels, holy moly. James says Topps Platinum Anniversary came out the other day. So today is the official release date. So it probably got leaked. Today's the street date, but as with every product, some get delivered early and all that stuff. So today's the official street date, but I'm sure, yes, it's been out for a few days. I'm pretty sure I have $1 million card in my half-cent box of 90s Topps Fleer Donruss. Might be a no dot. Have those hit $1 million yet? Or are they still in the $20,000 range? Joking. TD Sports Cards, what's up? Good morning. Shane, good morning to you. Flipping Sports Guy says July 25th. That's crazy. Amazes me seeing different parts of the country and when they start end. We're still the Tuesday after Labor Day. So that's kind of how they roll it here in Wisconsin. It's typically right after Labor Day, the Tuesday or Wednesday after Labor Day. Where I am from, we go around like next week is kind of when most schools start. Like the middle of August is when schools begin. Flawed Thinker says a school by me goes to school year round, 6 weeks in, 2 weeks off. So no summer vacation. Not sure how I feel about it. Basically they go, I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, when do you want your time? Do you want a lump sum or do you want it trickled out through the year? Because you go the same amount of days. That was like the common misconception when I was in school and we were like teased by adults. We're gonna make you go to school year round. And it's like, oh my God, I have to go to school every day. That's what we thought. But in reality, you go the same amount of days. You just don't get a 2.5 month break in the summer when you want to have a 2.5 month break. See, for me, kind of like how I started this whole video, I've gone 9 days sitting in my basement with my baseball cards. It's too much. I need a break. I went 5 straight days of being at the National and being around fellow hobby nerds. I needed a break. So I think for me, and like just how my brain is wired, I think a year-round school would have benefited me because I didn't have all summer to just, because I was, because sometimes like make sure you get a head start and read and, run for football practice. It's like, fuck that. I didn't last very long. Yeah, I don't want to run. Then I got older. It's like, I'll run. I haven't ran in a while though. I'm sure you can tell. But I think year-round school would have benefited me. because I didn't have like that 3-month break where it's like, oh, what am I going to do? And it just made my brain mush because I wasn't, my parents weren't strict with me. In hindsight, it's like, I kind of wish they were a little bit more. At the time, it's like, I'd laugh at my friends like, oh, you've got to save your money. You've got to read books. Here I am turning my brain to mush watching cartoons all summer long. And now I sell baseball cards out of my basement. See? So I think year-round school probably would, for me, and everybody's different, but I think for me, in hindsight, it would have been good. Max in the house. Sounds like a Hall of Famer nowadays at the catcher fantasy position. Yeah, especially if you get those stolen bases. Hell yeah. Andy Mack. I tried building the 2021 Platinum Anniversary set. I'm close, but I refuse to buy 2022. I thought it would be a one-time thing. How many times can you celebrate? That's a great point. How many times can you celebrate a Platinum Anniversary? Should be once. It's not a Platinum Anniversary anymore. It was last year. Why are you doing it again? Great point. Now it's just a gimmick. Chrome Platinum is just a Chrome version of Heritage that was rebranded with shiny refractors and a new name. Amen to that. Silly me. Of course, they're going to celebrate their Platinum Anniversary every year, right? Way too many parallels. They should stick to red, orange, green, blue, and maybe something for inserts, but it's just too much to deal with. I get bummed if I hit anything besides those main colors. Yeah. But they make more money. And sometimes we have to remember it is a business. But it was also a business in the early 90s, and their methodology of making sales on baseball cards in the early 90s hurt them for years to come, many years. Checklist for Chrome Platinum was 700 last year. I didn't know that. Holy shit. No wonder I get so many in like bulk buys. Like, wow, how come these are in common boxes? Well, the checklist is freaking huge. No wonder. I had a bulk like common box buy like several months ago, and there was a whole bunch of Chrome. I'm like, ooh, wow, I can sell these on eBay. And they don't. They don't sell on eBay. Mike Trout's going to sell. Jeter's going to sell. I think one of the Jeters in here was a Chrome Platinum. And I'm like, ooh, for 40 cents. Where's my Jeter? Where's my Jeter? There's a whole stack of Jetas. Pretty sure there was a Chrome Platinum in here. Maybe it was in this other pile. Where's my Jeter? Well, maybe I was, no. I was seeing things. Interesting. I could have swore when I was going through those cards 30 minutes ago, I could have swore there was a Jeter Platinum. One thing that Topps loves to do is reuse their old designs. They are very proud of them. Yes, done to excess. And trying to learn how to read my eBay sales impressions numbers, mostly green numbers and arrows up. What's the main number you need to watch? So the sales impression numbers are going to be, you're going to have to like track it on your own. Like I can tell you my numbers, but that does nothing for you and your numbers do nothing for me. But when you start looking at the trends, you'll notice what's good and what's bad. So I'm going to go to mine. Like I could tell, let's go back to July. Was it July like 16th, 17th? Let's go back to July 17th, which is a Monday. And let's isolate Monday, July 17th. My impressions for that day. Okay, that was a day that they were actually decent. Let's go. There was one day where they were just absolutely brutal. Let's go to the 19th, that Wednesday. 19th. Okay, they were still higher. Okay, so July 19th, my impressions were 300 for the day. July 19th, isolated to one day, 356,000, which to some people it's like, holy cow, I'm never going to get to that. Some people are like, oh, that's low. To me, that number is only good for me. And that number was not good because before that, leading into July 19th, and before the algorithm hiccup, my impressions averaged around 700,000. So just take a look at your impressions, and I like to isolate it by the day, and then take that day and look over the course of about a 30-day period, and you can see, because Saturdays and Sundays might be higher, might be lower than say a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And so then you can take 4 weeks and you can kind of look and you can average it out and okay, my average is 700,000. So when you start seeing consistent 300,000, 200,000 impressions on a daily basis, something wonky is going on. So July 19th was 356,000 impressions. That was, what day was that? A Wednesday. So let's fast forward to last Wednesday, August 2nd. They might have still been a little low. Yeah, they were on their way back up. So 647,000 on August 2nd. And then yesterday, August 8th, my impressions were 900,000. That's real. And I only added 100 cards yesterday. 900,000 impressions yesterday. So as you saw a month ago, they were at about a third. And there were some days last month where my impressions were 150,000. Which is absolutely, for my store, brutal. So so just go and obviously where to find those. And you can see, are your impressions up? So 900,000 yesterday, my impressions were up 5% from the previous time period, which is the day before, August 7th, which was Monday. And those numbers can be, and that's why I say, look at the numbers yourself and compare them, because those arrows and those, it's not going to tell the whole story, and they can be manipulated. My sales numbers are down in the last 30 days. My sales are down 19%. But if you isolate that to the last 7 days, let's see. Isolate that to the last, or let's just do this month because it's the last 9 days. So this month, generate the report. So my sales from August 1st through August 9th are up 47% over the same time period, July 1st through July 9th. And that was even before the algorithm. So that's just kind of some of the things that I do to look at my numbers within eBay. Max says, that's why I argue wax has to change. So many different things are so messed up right now. Hopefully the Monopoly guy can fix it. It'll be interesting. I haven't talked about the lawsuits because I'm no Paul Lesko. I don't know law, and I'm not going to pretend to know law. And I certainly don't know specifically antitrust. So I'm not going to talk about it because I'll sound like a moron. But I'm interested to read about it and see how it plays out. So that's why I haven't talked about any of it, because I don't know shit and I don't want to sound like a buffoon. Shane says, that's how I feel. Max sounds like they just shoved a few years of new parallels into one set. It's so dumb. I agree. Could have used a few of those in new sets and not all in one. Max says, the number one problem with wax currently is The Walking Dead. People that use breakers and are told product after product that every product is great and no longer can think for themselves. I used to watch. That's a good point. I think it's a true point. But I also understand from the breaker side, breakers have to push product because that's how they make money. I have some friends that are breakers, and I kind of feel bad with how releases are coming out here in the last couple months, because there's no releases coming out. It's for your mainstream baseball, it's all backloaded to November and December, which is historically has been, I know if you go way back 30 years, 30 to 35 years, I know the new products released in December for the following year. Like I know Topps would release like around Christmas for the following year. And then we went through a time period over the last decade or 2 decades where it was like November and December was like no man, like nothing was released in November and December, which sucked for me. Like my mom would go to Walmart and buy me some blaster boxes and they didn't have anything because nothing had been released in months. So she just buys the repack stuff. And because it's like, well, there was nothing at Walmart. A lot of those years I didn't collect anyway. It just like gave me something to do on Christmas morning. Open cards. Max says a ton of breaks just for entertainment. Got sick of hearing, oh, let's go. Fire. This is an awesome card on a $5 auto from a $250 box. Not good. We have some outfits that are able to get 100 cases, but some can't even get any in a store. I'm all for people building their businesses, but there has to be a ceiling. Since when was it okay for baseball card dealers to drive nicer vehicles than lawyers and doctors? That's America, man. And you know what? Driving nice vehicles is just an illusion. Just an illusion. Some people drive nice cars and they have a lot of debt. Nice cars, nice house. Some of the richest people out there drive Toyota Camrys. So nice cars, nice houses, many times it's all an illusion. Mark says, sorry, I'm late. A fawn jumped into my pool. Oh my God. Just bought a 1976 cello pack. Wow. Those 2 sentences have never been uttered in the history of life. A fawn jumped into my pool. Just bought a 1976 cello pack. Maybe, actually, in 1976, those 2 sentences, maybe somewhere, those 2 sentences were uttered back in 1976. Going to bust that baby this weekend. That sounds fun, the fawn in a pool. Speaking of fawns and pools, we were sitting at the Riley Tavern last night, and a dude comes in, Harley guy, comes walking in, and just like casually orders a beer and says, just hit a deer on my bike. And like the bartender was like, oh my God. And the Harley guy is like, yeah, it's like right. Because I said earlier, the cars park on like the road, the country road that goes out. It's like, yeah, it's right before, just jumped out right before you get to the cars. Hit it with my crash bar, killed it. It's just laying in the road. And the lady next to it, I'm going to go move it. So they ended up moving it. Like when I drove off, there was like a big pool of, can I say the BLOOD word on YouTube? There's some word you can't say on YouTube. You'll get a little smack on the wrist. But yeah, dude on a Harley hits a freaking deer and just casually walks into the bar. Yeah, I hit a deer. Hit it with my crash bar. Crash bar came in handy last night for that guy. He didn't spill the bike, but there's one less deer in Dane County. Brian says dynamic ad is up to 12.2% now. Do you ever see it lower on any of your cards? I don't ever see it lower, just keeps going up. Yeah, I see it on, let's see. Let's see, Jet Williams. Where are we at? Transaction costs. See, fee details. Oh, so that was not, there were no, so my most recent sale did not have any promoted listing fee to it. Let's go to, another couple sales. Love it. Let's see. So my most recent sale, there were no fees for promoted listings. Okay, so my Ronnie Cycli 1990 Fleer with Michael Jordan making a cameo, that was 11%. Let's see. My Joe Pepitone 1968 Topps was 11%. Let's see. My Madison Bumgarner first Bowman was 11%. So it's looking like a lot of them are 11% on my end. This one, my Antonio Brown, 11%. Let's do one more. Is this Carney? I sold a Carney Lansford Diamond King. Thank you, Chad. 11%. So yeah, looks like they're pretty much all 11% on my end. At least the last 5. I do sometimes I see like 3.5. That's the lowest I've ever seen. A lot of 6s, but it looks like a lot of 11s here in the last few sales. Harlan in the house. He's running late. That's okay. No tardies given here. Missed that point. It was more to how much money has been made by just a few in the hobby because purposeful, limited access. It's tough. I have a huge issue with guys that have had a shop for 30 plus years. Can't get product, but a breaker that pushes millions of product through and started 2 years ago gets whatever they want. Seems like there's no appreciation anymore for those that had the hobby. So that's a tough one for me because that's how America was built. Like we live on capitalism and like you can start a business. Like that's inspirational because you can start a business and 2 years later, making all that money, getting all that product. Like that's what we have. That's like the American dream. But I also understand the point of a shop that's been around for 30 years and doesn't get that allocation. But that's capitalism. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And the shops that may have been around for 30 years, they're just not pulling their own weight as far as sales go. And those that move product are going to get rewarded with more product. And that's just kind of, so I'm kind of like, and I think Fanatics is going to, I think it got worse. I think it's going to get better. Just my opinion. I think it's going to get better with Fanatics. I think Fanatics is going to cater to the breakers 100%. But I think they're also going to cater to card shops. And they're going to cater to those 30-year plus card shop guys. They're going to get their allocation more so than what in recent past. It was a lot worse 3 years ago, 4 years ago for card shops than it is now and will be moving forward. Because card shops will be able to get hobby product, where in the past, like I can't get any allocation because they had to go through a freaking distributor. And Fanatics is like, we ain't doing that no more. And that's good for those longtime card shop owners because that's why they've been held back is because of the distributors. And the distributors are going to allocate to the big breakers, where now Fanatics comes in and says, we're going to cater to those breakers, but we're also going to make sure you get product to the brick and mortar. As long as you follow these rules, you don't want a shitty looking shop with, they want modern stuff. Like that's just the way it is. Josh Williams in the house. What's up, Josh? Hey, I've dropped it down from 12.2 and kind of went by popularity per player. Yeah, there's different ways to do your promoted listings. Again, I'll reemphasize, promote your listings. Absolutely. What you want to spend on those promoted listings is, your choice. But remember, the more you promote, the more eyes. Doesn't mean the more you promote, the more sales you get. It just means the more you promote, the more sales you could make. You also have to have product that people want at prices that people will pay. So if you have product that people want at prices people will pay, the more you promote, the more you will sell. Mark says, when I worked for Uncle Rich, he drove a Toyota. See, it's not just a name, Uncle Rich. Blockbuster built an industry on their back, and Netflix said, hold my beer. It's America. It's America. It's cutthroat, man. When the shop completely gets shut out, that's not capitalism, though. Especially when they have moved the product for 20 to 30 years, it can't get much worse. But the thing is, and I'm not privy to that particular shop, but shops are not going, if shops follow Fanatics, they're going to get product. They're going to get product. It's going to get better for card shop. As long as it's not a shitty card shops will get product from Fanatics. Distributors ruined it for card shops. Well, distributors' relationships with breakers ruined it for small mom and pop brick and mortars. And it's like, I bitch, and I have bitched, other people bitch about, well, my local card shop only has retail that they mark up. Like one of my buddies went into the local card shop here, and they had, this was a couple of years ago, UFC Chronicles blaster boxes for $60. You could drive literally 3 blocks to Target, and guess what was on the shelf? UFC Chronicles blasters for $20. That's what the shop turned into. That shop couldn't get hobby boxes. Why? Because distributors cut him off because he wasn't buying enough. Breakers bought it all. Who are the distributors going to cater to? People that move it. But when you have Fanatics, they're in control. Distributors they're allocated. Fanatics, they're not allocated because they're making the product. I think it's going to be a good thing. And only time will tell. But I think Fanatics is going to be good for your brick and mortar card shops. They will make sure card shops get product, and they're going to get the product that they can sell and they can move. You know, they're not going to get inundated with 100 cases of Topps if they only sell one. They're going to get allocated what they can sell. And if they want to sell more, they can get more. That's how it should work. Hopefully that's how it ends up, but it seems, at least in the conversations I've had, that's the way it's going. Card Hobbyist says some shops adapted by getting into breaking. Absolutely. Some shops adapted to getting into breaking. Some breakers adapted and opened a brick and mortar. Many actually did that. They got their start breaking in their basements, and now they own brick and mortar shops along with their breaking business. Completely agree. The one thing I like with Fanatics is no B2B selling. I think that was a major issue as well. So they're still going to be B2B. So Fanatics backtracked that the initial letter that was going around, on Twitter and social media, said there's no B2B selling, which was a big hit to many, which actually kind of hurt some of the small card shops because that's where they were buying and they were able to get deals from their buddies who bought more product and were able to get product. There's basically going to be a embargo on new product on B2B sales. So say Platinum Anniversary comes out today. There's no B2B sales on that for like a 2 or 3 week time period. So card shop A, that they're breakers and they get a whole bunch, they can sell it to another card shop, but not for 2 or 3 weeks. So I think that's totally fair. Because it allows there still to be B2B sales, but it also allows time to marinate, right? Josh says all of your numbers matter when it comes down to it, especially with multiple fees and fees going up with cards being highly popular on the platform. The only people who will be breaking products in the future will be breakers who are authorized by Fanatics, and they will be breaking the product on Fanatics live platform. I disagree, and I disagree with the first part. There will be breakers that are not part of Fanatics. It's kind of like for the last 30 years or how many ever years it was, there were, and I mentioned this on a recent show, there were like territories for card shops. Like there could only be one Topps direct account in a geographic region. It didn't mean there couldn't be other card shops in the area. There could be a card shop down the street, but that one of those card shops was getting a direct from Topps. The other one had to buy it on the secondary market or from a distributor. It didn't mean you couldn't have a card shop if you weren't a direct account. And I think that's going to be similar to Fanatics and Breakers. There are going to be Breakers still, but they're not going to be able to get the product directly from Fanatics. And they're going to really hype up the Fanatics Live. You know, if you're a Fanatics direct breaker, you're going to be breaking on the Fanatics Live platform. Breakers opened B&M so they could get Upper Deck product. Come on now. What's B&M? Oh, brick and mortar. That's part in Panini too. I think don't you have to be a brick and mortar to get Panini? But who really? I mean, the Breakers that I know did not open brick and mortar to get Upper Deck. And maybe I hope that's a tongue-in-cheek comment. Opening brick and mortar to get the Upper Deck hockey. Shane says, does anyone think Panini has a legit case against Topps, saying they're trying to monopolize? I don't know. I don't know the rules and regulations on monopolies and antitrust, so I can't. I mean, we can sit here and say, yes, Topps is a monopoly, but in reality, I have no idea. Card hobbyist to Shane, personally, I don't see the case against Fanatics winning. It's partly the sports league's fault for wanting only one exclusive license with the card manufacturers. Endicott Angler Card says that's Fanatics' ultimate goal. Other people might still break, but they will be paying higher costs. Exactly. I mean, there's breakers right now that are paying higher cost, and you know they may have to buy it off the secondary market, and which is okay if you have a customer base that'll pay the higher prices. More power to you. So that's what I had for today. Max says to Shane, Panini's case is against Fanatics, but yes, I think there is a lot for basis for them to have a case. In my opinion, they will settle and Panini will get some sort of sub-license. And I think that was part of Fanatics' countersuit. So Panini went after Fanatics. Fanatics countersued Panini. And apparently there was a deal in place that there was going to be a sub-license starting, I think, last year, started going into this year's products. For basketball and football, for Fanatics to sub-license the basketball, football. Like they were going to pay X amount, and I guess Panini dragged it out. So Fanatics is countersuing because of that thing that happened. So it's going to be fun. I'll use air quotes. It's going to be fun to watch it play out, see what happens. We probably haven't had this big of a potential upending of the card market since 1981. And was it a monopoly case, I guess, on Topps back in 81, which allowed Donruss and Fleer, or 80 going into 81, allowing Donruss and Fleer to make baseball cards. But they had to make stickers, not gum. Topps made the gum. Dan says to card hobbyists, government should see this and prevent exclusive licenses. Shane says, Max, yes, Fanatics is what I meant. So hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Visit my eBay store, 99centcards.com. Link is also in the description of the video. Tomorrow, I keep thinking today's Thursday, which I'm glad it's not, because my wife comes home Friday. So I've got a lot of just picking up. I've got a lot of shit on the floor in the basement to rearrange. So I need to ship today and organize tonight. That's my goal. And hopefully maybe I still have a bunch of stuff that I bought at the National to list. I've got those singles from the 40-cent boxes. I've got the table that I bought. I still have a bunch of stuff to list. I've still got a whole bunch of the autographs. So hope maybe this weekend I'll tackle that. But anyway, I'm going to go. Like, subscribe. See you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central. Have a wonderful Wednesday.